These are the most satisfying karma moments in WWE history when wrestlers got what they deserved. Starting with the time Seth Rollins got a taste of his own medicine. June 2nd, 2014 was the night that changed modern wrestling history when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield and attacked Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose with a steel chair. The trio had just defeated Evolution at Payback, and fans thought the Shield was stronger than ever. But Triple H had a plan B.
Tonight, Plan B.
And that plan involved Rollins selling out his brothers to join the Authority. Nobody watching knew what to think as Rollins blindsided Reigns with that chair shot while Ambrose looked on in absolute horror. For over a decade, this moment haunted the relationship between Rollins and Reigns. At the 2022 Royal Rumble, Rollins used the Shield entrance to play mind games with Reigns. And Roman continuously hit Seth with a chair, showing he hadn't forgotten the betrayal. Fast forward to WrestleMania 40, and karma finally caught up with the Architect. During the main event, Rollins came out wearing his Shield gear, and Reigns had to choose between hitting Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins with a steel chair, and Roman chose revenge. The chair shot mirrored exactly what Rollins had done back in 2014, and it cost Roman the championship. But the karma didn't stop there. Just months later, Rollins himself got a taste of betrayal when the Vision turned on him as Braun Breaker speared him and Bronson Reed hit him with a tsunami. The faction Seth had built to shape WWE's future kicked him out. From betrayer to betrayed, Seth Rollins learned that karma never forgets. But speaking of karma, how about the ultimate opportunist getting a taste of his own medicine? New Year's Revolution 2006, Edge became the first person to ever cash in Money in the Bank when he attacked John Cena right after Cena survived a brutal Elimination Chamber match. Edge had been waiting nearly 10 months for the perfect moment, and with a bloodied Cena slouched in the corner, he struck. 2 spears later, Edge was WWE Champion, and he had created the blueprint for every opportunistic cash-in that followed. Once again in 2007, the Rated R superstar waited until Undertaker had survived a brutal steel cage match with Batista and been destroyed by Mark Henry before cashing. However, karma was lurking just around the corner. In 2008, Edge found himself on the receiving end of his own strategy. On an episode of Raw, after Batista beat down Edge viciously, CM Punk's music hit, and he rushed to the ring with a referee. The crowd went crazy as Punk cashed in his Money in the Bank contract, hit Edge with the go to sleep, and pinned him to become World Heavyweight Champion. Punk had given Edge a taste of his own medicine, and the man who perfected the opportunistic cash-in became a victim of it himself. However, this story gets even better as CM Punk got hit with the ultimate karma bomb himself. At Extreme Rules 2009, Punk cashed in his second Money in the Bank contract on Jeff Hardy immediately after Hardy won the World Heavyweight Championship in a ladder match against Edge. Hardy was a massive fan favorite, and when Punk cashed in, fans were shocked and heartbroken. This moment turned Punk heel and sparked one of the best feuds of 2009. Punk would go on to dominate SmackDown and even drove Jeff out of the company during this feud. But karma has a long memory, and 16 years later, it came for the best in the world. At SummerSlam 2025, CM Punk defeated Gunther in a brutal war to win the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time in over 12 years. The emotion was real. The celebration was glorious, and Punk finally had his moment. But then Seth Rollins' music hit. Rollins appeared on crutches with Paul Heyman carrying the Money in the Bank briefcase, but it was all a setup. Rollins threw away the crutches, tore off the knee brace, and cashed in on Punk. Rollins hit Punk with the briefcase, delivered a stomp, and pinned him to become the new World Heavyweight Champion just minutes after Punk's victory. Punk's championship reign lasted only a few minutes. From cashing in on Jeff Hardy in 2009 to getting cashed in on by Seth Rollins in 2025, CM Punk finally experienced what it felt like to have your moment stolen from you in an instant. But if you think Punk's karma was brutal, wait until you hear what happened to John Cena. At Elimination Chamber 2025, after 22 years as WWE's ultimate good guy, John Cena finally turned heel by brutally attacking Cody Rhodes. Cena gave Rhodes a low blow, hit him with brass knuckles, then attacked him with the championship belt, leaving Cody busted open. For months, Cena played the ultimate villain, aligning himself with The Rock and beating down the American Nightmare. But karma works in mysterious ways, and even Cena couldn't see it coming. Fast forward to Survivor Series 2025, and Cena was defending the Intercontinental Championship against Dominic Mysterio. The match was brutal, with interference from Judgment Day members trying to help Dom win. But then Liv Morgan's music hit, after being out of action since June with a separated shoulder that required surgery. Morgan punched Dominic and jumped into Cena's arms with a big smile like she was going to help him. But then her expression turned evil and she delivered a low blow to Cena. The facial expression, the setup, the betrayal, it all came full circle. What goes around really does come around, and John Cena learned that lesson the hard way. But speaking of betrayal, let's talk about one of the most controversial love triangles in WWE history. In 2005, while Matt Hardy was at home recovering from a knee injury, Lita began an affair with his best friend Edge, who was also married at the time. Matt discovered the affair by checking Lita's cell phone and finding a message from Edge that confirmed everything. The wrestling world exploded when Hardy made the situation public on his website. WWE fired Hardy for airing his grievances, while Edge and Lita remained employed, creating a hostile environment at live events. The betrayal destroyed Hardy's relationship and Edge's marriage, but WWE turned it into one of the hottest angles of 2005. Edge and Lita became the top heel couple on Raw, with the fans hating them for what they did to Matt. But karma doesn't forget, and Lita was about to learn that the hard way. After Edge lost his feud with Cena in 2006, he and Lita just drifted apart with little explanation, and their relationship ended soon after. The man she left Matt Hardy for ended up leaving her behind. But the karma wasn't done yet. Lita dated CM Punk from 2009 to 2010, and then again from late 2012 to September 2013. But according to rumors, Punk ended up cheating on Lita by dating AJ Lee while they were trying to work things out. The woman who cheated on Matt Hardy with Edge got cheated on herself. Her last known relationship was over a decade ago with CM Punk, and unlike Hardy and Edge who found their partners, Lita hasn't married nor had kids. From breaking hearts to having her own heart broken, Lita experienced the full circle of karma. Moving on from real-life drama, let's talk about one of the most vicious revenge moments in WWE history. In early 2009, Randy Orton called Stephanie McMahon worthless and then attacked Vince McMahon with a punt kick to the head. Orton won the Royal Rumble and continued his assault by punt kicking Shane McMahon and giving Stephanie an RKO, which brought out an angry Triple H. The feud got intensely personal when Orton revealed his motivation. Everything Orton had done was part of a plot to get revenge on Triple H for betraying him and booting him out of Evolution years earlier. On the March 9th edition of Raw, Triple H broke into Randy Orton's home with his sledgehammer during a live video interview with Orton. The game hunted Orton through the house and threw him through the front window in one of the most infamous segments in Raw history. Triple H got his revenge for the McMahon family attacks, but Orton wasn't done yet. He wanted the ultimate revenge. A week after Triple H invaded his home, Legacy attacked Triple H, handcuffed him to the ropes, and Orton slammed Stephanie's face to the mat and kissed her for the ultimate revenge. But switching gears from the Orton-Triple H saga, let's talk about one of the most satisfying revenge moments in WWE history. Throughout 2007 and early 2008, Edge and Undertaker were at war, with Edge using his Money in the Bank briefcase to steal the World Heavyweight Championship from Undertaker. Edge and Vicky made the dead man's life miserable as they always used the numbers advantage to outsmart Taker. At one night stand, Edge had Undertaker banished from WWE after winning their match for the World Heavyweight title. Edge taunted the Phenom for months, thinking he had finally gotten rid of him. But after Edge's wedding reception drama with Vicky Guerrero, she reinstated Undertaker and announced a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam. The match was absolute brutality, as the Phenom was relentless in his quest for revenge. But Undertaker wasn't satisfied with just the win. Edge needed to pay for everything he'd done. After the match, Undertaker saw Edge still moving, so he returned to the ring and set up a ladder. In one of the most iconic moments in SummerSlam history, Undertaker chokeslammed Edge from the top of the ladder through the ring, and moments later, fire shot up from the hole as Undertaker symbolically sent Edge to hell. Edge had tormented Undertaker, gotten him banished from WWE, and made his life miserable for over a year. And in return, the Phenom literally sent him straight to hell at SummerSlam. But speaking of satisfying revenge moments, how about the time the Tribal Chief finally got his revenge? At WrestleMania 41, Paul Heyman stood in CM Punk's corner for the triple threat match against Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. But in the closing moments, Heyman did the unthinkable. Heyman first handed a chair to Punk, but then hit him with a low blow before seemingly aligning with Reigns. As Reigns was about to hit Rollins with the chair, Heyman delivered a low blow to Reigns as well and handed the chair to Rollins. Rollins hit Reigns in the back with the chair and delivered a curb stomp to win the match, with Heyman turning heel and aligning with the Visionary. Heyman had turned his back on his Tribal Chief and dissolved their relationship of 5 years. But Roman Reigns doesn't forgive, and he certainly doesn't forget. Fast forward to Clash in Paris 2025, and karma finally caught up with the Wiseman. After Roman Reigns beat down Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman nervously praised Reigns and asked for forgiveness. But the tribal chief wasn't interested in forgiveness. He locked in a guillotine choke on Heyman as the French crowd went crazy. From Wiseman to victim, Heyman learned that you can't betray the tribal chief and expect to walk away unscathed. But speaking of Heyman, do you remember when his former client, CM Punk, dabbled in the UFC? Check out this video to find out what happened to Punk and other WWE wrestlers who got into real fights.